Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Reviewing Comics with me, your host, Alexander Turbin. Today we're going to be going over Eternity Comics Earthlore #1, Future Drama in the Mystic Past. But before we get into that, I'd like to show you some of my own work. This is Random Access. It's a full-size, full-color comic book that I produce every month, and it also has other stories. It's a full-blown anthology now. This is 20 pages, and you've got Jamie Barrows, Jeremy Duncan, Swayze, Doug Roberts, Jake Quirk, and myself doing some fantastic artwork. And you can get these at Comics Creators Marketplace, which is a new website that has all kinds of different artists working, selling their awesome art there. And I will be putting the link in the description so you can check this out. Again, it's $2.99 for 20 pages of awesome black and white and color. I think this is all, no, it's black and white and color work. So there's really some awesome stuff going on here. It's the first one of the 20 pages, but you can also get these at patreon.com/Alexander Turbin. And you have, it's only $3 a month without the shipping. If you get it through the website, there's shipping costs, but if you get it through my Patreon, there's no shipping. $3 flat fee for a 20-page comic book. I think that's a pretty awesome deal. But again, thank you guys for your support, and I'll be letting you know more about the website and the artists that are going to be contributing to Random Access and also putting their own books up. So Earthlore, I just found this. I don't know where I got it, when I got it. It must have just, my memory must have blanked out because I looked in my stack of comics that I wanted to review and go over and stuff, and there it was. And I'm like, what? That looks awesome. And it does look awesome. It's a beautiful looking comic book. And like I said, it's from Eternity, and they're part of the big conglomerate of adventure and all that stuff. All of those that Malibu kind of put together, and Marvel bought all of the stuff. It says futuristic drama in the mystic past, which is a little bit confusing, and that is my only problem with this comic book, is it's a little bit confusing. But which is really, really too bad, because it's one of those comics that you pick up and you look at and you're like, man, this looks like my kind of thing. This looks awesome. And then you read it and you're like, what? Huh? What just happened? Earthlore, The Legend of Beck Larson. I think that each different Earthlores, I don't know if there's an Earthlore and an Earthlore for every, like here's the Earthlore, The Reign of the Dragon Lord, first issue. So I don't know if it's a bunch of different characters put together in some sort of thing. But let's get into this, and then I will, as always, go back and look at the writing and as the art. The writer is Peter Palmer. The artist is Russ Stevens, and I looked him up, and he's done some Marvel stuff, or he did some Marvel stuff. I don't know if he's still doing art or whatever. Lettered by Pat Brosseau and edited by Brian Marshall. It says 1986. So there you go, which is very odd because this Eternity logo, I know that there was a shakeup at Eternity and all of those companies when they kind of broke up and stuff. But I thought that was much later. I thought that was like early 90s or late 80s, but this is 86. So this is like the heyday of Eternity. But their logo is really kind of odd, and it looks a lot different than all of the other Eternity books. All right, it starts out, I'm just going to read this because I can't really explain it. The best that I can glean from it is that aliens came from, or people from another country. I assume that this is some sort of alien world and not modern, or not our universe or whatever. But the accidental discovery of a tremendous natural harbor in the middle of a coastline thought inaccessible for thousands of years was a gift from the gods. Before the primitive folk of the region could comprehend what was happening, their shore began disappearing. Trees and rocks reshaped themselves into docks, warehouses, and sprawling city which heaved its way through the jungle like a tidal wave. While those below watched in wonder, their civilized neighbors cut a road from the coast over 100 miles inland, linking northern and southern shipping trade with the Middle Kingdom's caravans. The appearance of further outsiders with their bigger ships with their sign to the displaced tribes of the area that the gods might need some help in sending the strangers home. So I think it's a like a parable of the Native Americans in America and the Europeans coming in their ships, but I think it's even more drastic than that. I think these people have modern technology, and so they're kind of, I don't know, going into that kind of thing. But so you've got your natives versus the technologically advanced. They do have ships, regular sailing ships, not spaceships. But then it says, I'm going to read like a few pages of this because in truth, it was a story almost trite in retelling. The simpler coastal peoples welcomed the advanced civilized explorers at first, working with an industry frightening to the natives. The strangers put up their harbors and factories and cities and slave pens. So they come and they enslave the people, the natives, and they all look like Conan. So they all look like some Sumerians or something, or just some like Picts, or some sort of like I said, Native Americans or natives to the country, but they're less advanced. They've got swords and spears and stuff, whereas these guys have cities and factories. I'm thinking they must have guns and stuff like that. Then towns were emptied, docks razed, farms burned, and the cemeteries would have been filled if anyone had been left to dig the graves. So I'm thinking that the natives rose up. They attacked the more advanced civilization people. I'm assuming there's a lot more natives than the advanced people from the other world or the other realm or whatever. So it's kind of a war going on. Trapped halfway between the frenzied blood letting raging along the coast and the fire-scarred edges of the civilization, the guests of the Sweet Pine Way Station wait for night. So you've got this background, which is really great. You've got this background, big story going on, and then it kind of settles in on a tavern. And then you have two people talking. And it is the tavern owner and some sort of other guy, and they are waiting for more battles and stuff. And they're just kind of talking about the politics of the region and what's going on and how badly it's going to be. It's going to kind of how badly it's going to affect everybody, I guess. And then a stranger comes along, and they kind of talk about who the stranger might be, and they're like, who is it? It could be this, it could be that, it could be this. Very typical Dungeons and Dragons stuff where you have your tavern and then you have a wizard come in. I think he's very wizardly, but I'm not entirely sure he's a wizard. But they kind of have this banter between them, and this is the problem, and it's both the strength and the problem with the writing. And I would like to talk about it afterwards, but I have to talk about it now because the biggest reason, or one of the biggest reasons that I'm so confused, is that the writing is so eloquent and beautiful, but it's got nothing tied together. It's like it's got this, I don't know, it's got this, doesn't have a narration of what is actually truly going on. You just kind of glean from the dialogue of what's happening. And I mean, you do have the narration of what's happening, and you do get, that does get you so far. But then once people start talking, it's like I start hearing it in my head, like Lord of the Rings, and the people talking in the old slang of the Third Age or whatever. I'll read some and I'll kind of explain it a little bit. You're certainly calm about this, Gars. You stand to lose a lot if those devils torch this station of yours. A sailboy worried about a bar girl's property. Now there's a wonder. Here, drain this and try helping me. Keep some order, eh? Glancing about the room, the Sweet Pines proprietor thought to herself, order, this bunch? Only the trouble outside could have brought these together under one roof. That one, not a word since he ran his blood-soaked self through the gates. He's danger. Nay, the fop, though, he wears a weapon well, nerve in him, true, but I think little metal. So it's very convoluted. Like the dialogue, you realize that it's really good. It's really good dialogue, but it's a little bit convoluted, and you don't know where to go with it in your brain. It's a little bit like how H.P. Lovecraft is a fantastic writer, and I love his narrations, but there's no dialogue. And it's very ye old English type stuff. So it's very hard to kind of keep track of what's going on. And so the stranger does come in, and they say, "Do you want a drink?" He says, "No, I just want to tell a story." So he tells the story of his mistress, somebody who's I don't know, somebody who's famous. I think she's a famous mage, sorcerer, wizard, whatever. She gets captured by the bad guys. She gets captured by some bad guys. I don't know why. I don't know if this has anything to do with the fighting that's going on now or a different time, which is kind of what makes it confusing. I'll just read it again, I guess. Domore, the witch man, the same. My mistress met him shortly after the battle which killed the husband to whom her father had sold her. So she was sold as a slave, I guess. A small-minded drunk given to beating her to pass the time. She was not sorry to see him die. Not at first. The laws were simple. The property of a slain city defender became the spoils of the surviving defenders. So I guess they attacked the city, he died, or no, they attack the city, he loses, the city loses, everybody gets killed or whatever, the women get raped and pillaged and all that stuff like normal. But the attackers, one of the attackers is like this wizard, and he says you can either have your freedom or you can become my apprentice. So he teaches her all of his magics, and he teaches her everything. And he says he does this because he has a plan. He wanted a mate, someone to partner through time with, someone to be his meld. So he's using all these words, his meld, his mate, his wife. Why did he use meld? Why didn't he use wife? Sometimes raising the bar of your writing is fantastic. It's wonderful. Sometimes it's a little bit confusing. I think he just needed a little bit of narration to kind of bring it down. It's like I've said before, it is a tightrope between talking down to your reader and being confusing. It's a real tightrope, and he just misses the mark ever so slightly, mostly because of the dialogue, as I've said. So the wizard eventually dies because he's got too many enemies, and he bequeaths upon her all of his lands and his holdings and stuff, and all of his magic that he got. So then it cuts to another scene, which it doesn't lead into it. I wish it said another time, another place, 15 years later, something to bind it all together, because that's really the biggest problem, is it's not bound together in any kind of manner, which is really too bad, because I'll talk about the things I love afterwards. But there's somebody, and I think he's a futuristic person, maybe one of the people that are trying to bring civilization to the natives, possibly. But no, I don't know who this is. Some guy. He's being tied up. Yes, again, I think he's one of the civilized people, and he's being tied up by the natives. And then somebody comes along, and it looks like somebody who's I don't know. They're supposed to be a dwarf, maybe, or a small person. And she cuts him loose, and they go running away from the natives or the savages or the whatever they are, Sumerians, and they're they're running after them. We don't know why she saves him. We don't know who he is. We don't know who they are, other than are the savages, possibly. We just know that she's rescued him and that they're taking off. And then they're almost upon them. Flip to this next scene, and I'll read the beginning. In this world's future, there will be an era where men will conquer time itself, only to return to this present, to themselves, to be conquered. So you've got futuristic, time-traveling people that come back in time and try to do something. But then we've got this guy. No, we've got. It's very confusing. Like I said, I'll read again. This trip was your idea, Bender. I know it was. I know it. One of my best. We shall see. Is your base camp established yet? Nearly complete. When will you reprogram? The last page of Beck Larson's biography should be written about sundown. So he's saying that he's going to kill this guy Beck. Why didn't he say that? Why? I mean, the last page of Beck Larson's biography should be written about sundown. What? Why would you say it like that? Yes, it's beautifully written. Yes, it's some cool dialogue. It's futuristic. It's kind of weird. Maybe have something saying the shadowy man plans Beck's death. Something like that. Something to tie it in. I mean, I'm not a moron. I can read good. I assume this is the last page of Beck Larson's biography should be written about sundown. But it's not until the next pages or panels that I understand that that's what's happening. So you've got this guy Beck, and he's doing something out there in the forest, and then he realizes that his people are turning on him. We don't know why. I don't know why. I wish I knew why. There's all these futuristic people. They turn on him. He runs through the forest. He finds this sky bike or speeder bike, whatever. He grabs it and he whooshes away. And then we go to another scene, which I don't really know where it is, what it is, who it is. And it's, I just don't know. Oh, this is I believe this is the woman, the wizardess, the wizard sorcerer who had gotten all of his powers from she was the apprentice. So she is, because this is the guy that was telling the story, and I don't know where they are. They must be in a city that's going to be attacked by the savages. So I'm not entirely sure. His sky bite breaks down. I don't know why, or no, I do know why. Matt was always a morally good shot. So they're using some inflection, some different words, some slang stuff. Morley is really a very good shot. And he's walking through the forest trying to figure out what to do next, I guess, to try to get away from Matt. And it doesn't say why Matt is attacking him. They were best friends, though. It says here they were best friends. And it doesn't say why he's actually attacking him, though. Just that the overlords or whatever want him dead. Don't know why. So he comes across the two people, the dwarf and the guy that she saved, and they're running away from the savages. And apparently they got away from the savages, and they just kind of have a little bit of dialogue about who knows what. I'll just read it again. Wait, on Ote, got it? Got what? That was him saying, using a translator. That's some sort of translator. So now they can understand themselves. So that was pretty specific. I understood that right away. Figure of speech. At least we can communicate now. Someone after you too, I take it? A most hideous horde, sir. Yeah, but don't let cheerful here worry you. I know a walled station where we can sanct it out. Well, any roof when it's raining. Here, take these. We'll need them. Let's move and hope wherever we're going is less trouble than we are. And what is there to see, warrior? I don't understand what that is. That is obviously the sanctum or whatever, where the wizardess lives, sorceress lives. I guess, and I think they're all headed to that tavern. I think it's one of those classic D&D things where you have all of the characters spread out in different areas, and then they eventually end up at the tavern where they kind of very much like Dragonlance starts that way. But then you have this dragon guy, and the savages are attacking the city, and he's ready to fight them. And I don't know who's good guys and who's bad guys, because I guess in the beginning, like it says, they welcome them, but then the factories and facilities and slave pens, until the day came when finally those who belonged gathered together and rose up to dispute their neighbors' dubious claims of ownership. So they made them slaves. Why couldn't he just say that? And he's one of the overlords, maybe, I guess, and she's the sorceress is one of the overlords as well, and he's ready to fight them. But then we have the trio, and he's got a gun, and he's running along, and we've got the civilized people here, and they're being attacked by the savages, and they're being overwhelmed because the savages just have too many people, too many bodies, and they're overwhelming them. And then he spies, I guess, Beck, and he's got a weapon. The savages don't have anything; they just have spears and swords and stuff. And he's got like a flamethrower or a machine gun or something, and he's mowing them down like there's nobody's business, and they're just like freaking out. And eventually, I don't know if they run away or not. But I'll read this last page. But even as the slaughter continues in the tower above the courtyard, Letissa, do not shade your eyes to what your mind will remember. Save them, please. It is the please which softens. So then he's fighting, and then she turns into like her sorceress powers. She uses her magic, and she attacks the savages. She must attack the savages because the dragon guy is part of her clan or part of her society or something. No, I guess not. Yes. Yeah, he's with her, and so she fights off the savages with her magical powers, and that's pretty much how it ends. Where the savages have been defeated, they've been all burned up, and you've got Beck and the trio and the dragon guy and the sorceress, and they're just kind of hanging out there. Phew. So. My problem is, as I've said, it's very convoluted. It's very hard to read. It's very the writing. I love the dialogue. I think the dialogue is great. It's got so many inflections and so many different ways about them that everybody has their own voice. It's just really hard to read because you really can't tell what's happening from scene to scene. I wish if it just said. Given a little bit of a hint as to who was who and what was what, I think that would have been, excuse me. Oh, I thought I was going to sneeze. Guess not. It would have helped tremendously to see who was who and what was what and where was where. Just a little bit, just to dumb it down a little bit. I mean, I think I'm a pretty good reader, as I've said. I don't think I need things dumbed down for me usually, but to make the reading experience as pleasurable as possible, I have to know what's going on. I can't be confused for long. If I'm confused and then after a few pages everything becomes clear, that is fine. But this, nothing really truly becomes clear. You're always just, wondering what's going on. It's kind of, like I said, convoluted. His writing, I do enjoy it. I feel like he's trying to talk up to the reader, or he's trying to talk above the reader, like he is better than them, or like something like that. Like he's just trying so hard to do things that I think he just needed to smooth things out a little bit. This is where an editor would have been a fantastic thing to have. An editor could have said, let's give some interchangeability between the scenes. Let's talk about some of the characters, maybe some other names, some who they are, where they are. Maybe at the very beginning, instead of saying, we don't know what this is, say another planet, another place, another time, something like that, something to, clue the reader in as to what's going on. But the biggest part of this is I love the art. So I'm not gonna. The writing, the plot is convoluted. The dialogue is great. I'm gonna give the writing by itself a 7. I really, because of the confusion, I really could give it a lower than that, a 5 or a 6 or even a 4 maybe. But the dialogue is so good that it raises up that story and the script to a place where, even though it's hard to read, I enjoyed reading it because I enjoyed the dialogue. But what really raises this comic book up for me is the artwork. The artwork is beautiful. It reminds me of Barry Windsor Smith. It reminds me of so many of the Conan, Savage Sword of Conan artists. It reminds me a little bit of Frank Miller and some of his stuff. The black inks, the inking is spectacular. It reminds me a lot of the Kuberts, Joe Kubert, and or all of Andy Kubert and all that stuff. The way his brush and his pen just kind of flow around and glide around. I mean, I love this stuff. The expressions are fantastic. The poses, the different poses, and in the different angles of the panels. It's never because of the narrative art that I get confused. It's only because of the story. So it's really great. I mean, look at this beautiful stuff. You've got these only 3 panels. You've got a lot of variety. You've got a lot medium-sized panels, 3 panels, a bunch, lots of intricate storytelling going on here. And then some resolution here, which is really fantastic. And I love this. Looks a little P. Craig Russell-y. I love the stippling here and the really, really nice interweaving line work. It's really, really gorgeous. I'm really loving this art, and it's really awesome. So, I mean, look at this. You got great action scenes, and you got a nice slow scene with him just being tied up, and like everything is just so clear and concise about what's happening. It's just too bad about the story and the script, I guess. So it's really fantastic art. I can't really praise it enough. I would say this is like a 9 or a 10 artist. So we've got these conflicting things going on. We've got a story that kind of brings it down, bogs it down, but has some merit to it. And we've got this art. Looking at the cover, I don't love the colors. I don't love the cover at all. It looks very 70s. I'm just really not really into it. It's not really giving me a lot of depth. It's just kind of it kind of is there. All these characters just kind of going forward. It looks like he was trying for a John Byrne scene or something like that, and I just don't think it really came through enough for me, especially because of the colors. The colors are just bringing me down too, as well as that. But you've got this fantastic art, but you've got the story and the plot that bring it down, but you've got the dialogue that I really enjoy. Oh man, this is probably the hardest book that I've ever reviewed. We'll start at 7. We'll start. Would I buy more? Will I buy Earthlore #2 in the dollar bin if I see it? Yes, I would, 100%. So we're going to keep it at a 7. Will I give it an 8 because of the writing? I'm not gonna detract from the writing because the dialogue is it's fun to read. It's just fun to read. It's like this dungeon master, this guy who's a really, really great dungeon master, and he puts all kinds of really intricate dialogue into his characters, his NPCs, and you're like, wow, this is really awesome. And he's like talking about all this stuff, and it's really awesome. But the plot really kind of is a little thin. Not so much thin as in more confusing, which is even a bigger sin than being thin, I think. But so I would say I'm not gonna drop it down because of the writing, but I am gonna raise it up because of the art. The art is really fantastic, and that would be the reason that I would get Earthlore #2, simply for the art. And the artist is Russ Steffens, and I've looked up a couple of his things, and he did a Marvel Spider-Man thing, and I'm gonna have to look up some other stuff because I really do enjoy it. But yeah, so I'm gonna give this an 8. Because even though I don't knock it down because of the writing, it can only go up so much because of that. So Earthlore #1, I'm giving an 8 from Eternity Comics. If you're new to the channel and this is the kind of stuff you're into, if you love indie comics from the 70s, 80s, 90s, beyond, and whatever, then this is the right place for you. Please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell and all of that fun stuff, because we got a million more indie comics to go through before we get bored and move along in life. But actually, I don't think I'll ever get bored of this. So we're all safe. So thanks for watching. And again, Comics Creators Marketplace is up and running, and we've got 4 or 5 artists there now, and it's going to just continue to grow and grow and grow. You're going to be able to go there and remember Comics Creators Marketplace, and it's going to be a one-stop shop for dozens, hundreds, thousands of indie artists. It's going to be a really great thing. So thanks for watching, and again, Earthlore #1, given an 8. Let me know what you guys think. I always say that, but I really, really want to hear what you guys think. Who has this? Who loves it? Who understands it? Am I just being a meathead and I don't understand because I'm stupid? But let me know. I would really appreciate that, because I'm even though I gave it an 8, I don't know where to put this. I don't know how to think about this. So let me know what you think, and that's really great. And it's a Wednesday, and we've got more stuff coming. Thursday, we're going to do that Daredevil reading, and Friday, we're going to do some more review some more comics, and it should be fun with not Saturday, but maybe Sunday, we'll do a thing with Joe, which is always fun. And so anyway, thanks for watching, and I really appreciate it. And as always, keep on creating.